welcome to the No Life Tech Show. How is everyone doing? So, not too much news, but we got some stuff that we want to talk about. There was Microsoft Build, there was Google I/O, so we want to chat a little bit about that stuff, and mainly that's it. There's some other little news sprinkled in there, but nothing too much. We want to try to stop making these shows so fucking long, so we're really trying to only talk about some of that juicy news and drama. So before we begin, make sure that you follow us at No Life Digital on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Also, make sure you check out our website at No Life Digital or nolife.digital. And let me do this actually because I want you guys to see the website. And let's just bring the co-hosts on. What's up, dudes? How you guys doing?
Dude, just waiting on John Legend to sing me to sleep.
He's coming over tonight?
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, might take about 6 months. I don't know.
That's not bad. What's up, Doobie?
Not much.
How you living?
Chilling.
Man? How was your dinner?
It's good.
Good.
What were you munching on, dude?
Some
Chicken?
it was
steak?
chicken, yes. It wasn't homemade though.
No, that's fair. Chicken's chicken.
Store-bought?
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, there you go.
Chick-fil-A.
Hey, my mom came home and she's like, "I got Chick-fil-A." I'm like, "All right,
Waffle
whatever."
fries?
Of course.
Yeah, dude.
As much as I hate Chick-fil-A, it's so good.
Those waffle fries, dude.
Dude, Chick-fil-A is so fucking good.
It's like
I
my
haven't had
top,
Chick-fil-A in a
my
while
top
either.
3 of fries.
What's the number one? McDonald's?
No, when they're good, and lately they haven't been, but when they're seasoned properly, the Cajun fries at Five Guys are just so good.
Really? I hate Five Guys fries.
That's what I'm saying. Like lately, they've been bad, but like a couple years ago, they were really good. Now it's just so much Cajun seasoning; it's too much.
I'm not a fan of like the real potato fries. The potato slivers. You know what I'm saying? I like them where they're like McDonald's style.
Do you like a thin cut
Lots of
fry?
sugar.
Yeah. I like them thin,
That's
like a
oily.
thin-
That's that secret is we got to dump the sugar in it.
Yeah, I like them where the salt kind of just sticks to them.
Second fry for fast food chains, Arby's curly fries.
Rallies is better.
See, I don't even know where the
is.
closest Rallies is around.
Checkers,
Here. We have Checkers, but
it's the same thing.
yeah, they're like I would put them at like 5.
Mm.
Dude,
They're
I
still
haven't had
good. I do
Checkers.
enjoy them.
I haven't had Checkers since I was like a kid, man. I don't even know if there's a Checkers around near us. And
Their banana
Jersey affiliate.
milkshake, and I didn't order a banana milkshake. I ordered a vanilla milkshake this a couple years ago. Ordered a vanilla milkshake, and I got a banana one. And you know what? Really enjoyed it. It was
Wait,
actually really good.
All I'm saying is if you're cheap and in a hurry, Rallies. You can get they have a combo right now that's like it's a drink, fry, apple pie, and a burger for like $3.
All I'll say about that banana milkshake that some people might find funny, it tastes like Bombi's Nana Cream.
There you go. There you go. I want to know where the fuck a Checkers is near us. Dude, I got this pimple right here, and it's pissing me off.
The only 2 I know of, there's one in Haddonfield, New Jersey, and then there's one in Glassboro, New Jersey,
far.
by the college.
Way too far.
Yeah, I lived in Glassboro though for a while, so like it was like right when I was going to school, it's like right there at all times. So we went in there right before they closed, and the guy was like, "Hey, do you want apple pie?" And we're like, "Sure, how much?" He's like, "Nah, take it."
What?
Gave us like 6 apple pies.
That probably made your day.
Oh, and you're a fat kid in college? Hell yeah.
All right, let's jump into some of this news. Do you guys know who Poppy is? That musician Poppy, the YouTuber Poppy.
The weird one?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I was a big fan. I still am a big fan of Poppy. I don't like the music per se, but I don't think you're supposed to. I think it's like kind of like a weird
You're not
experimental thing.
All of it's just supposed to be like Oh, hi, Poppy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
super dystopian, perfect future type shit. Let me turn my autofocus off. But there seems to be some crazy stuff going on. So there was this other YouTuber that worked with who Poppy is working with now. The guy's name is some weird shit, I forget. Corey Mixter, but I think his name is something else.
Is this the whole boyfriend girlfriend drama?
Something like that. Something like that. So there was this YouTuber that by the name of Mars Argo, who was essentially who Poppy was before Poppy, and she worked with the same guy, Corey Mixter, who goes by a different name. I forget his handle. But it was essentially the same thing. It's like this super produced, futuristic, dystopian, perfect pop star thing. And they had a falling out where this girl, Mars Argo, said that that guy, Corey Mixter, was like abusive. And, they had a falling out. And now Poppy comes up and she's now become very successful. I mean, she just released an album that, it's garnered some good reviews and it's out there. But that being said, it seems like Mars Argo has taken it upon herself to kind of attack Corey Mixter for these allegations or for these domestic abuse allegations. And she's filing a lawsuit. Her name's Brittany Sheets. That's Mars Argo's real name. And it's this really convoluted story. And I suggest if you're interested in Poppy that you read this because it does kind of dive a little bit deeper into the girl behind Poppy, which we've never really seen before. And I really feel bad for Poppy, or Mora Pereira, her real name, because you could tell they put a lot of care into crafting this weird, secretive image that kind of, she hides behind this character. And you don't know much about Poppy, and I think that adds to the allure. But now that all these abuse allegations have come up, and are they lies, are they not lies, I don't know. There's a whole thing, and Poppy responded showing a bunch of just proof that she's dealing with her own domestic abuse allegations by someone else who Miss Sheets is now dating or some shit like that. So it's just a crazy convoluted story. But ultimately, I just wanted to bring it up because I don't like when this stuff happens and it ruins the experience of the piece or the experiment that's going on. Because it's unfortunate, man. It does hurt the art. And now that Poppy the idea of Poppy in my head is it's not there anymore, because now she's dealing with this lawsuit, and I enjoy, drama and TMZ like bullshit. So of course I'm going to be interested in this stuff, and you read about it and you're like, God damn it,
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. Same time, I think it's one of those things that has to kind of come out if it's actually happening.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, we don't know, like if this happens and we find out that it's not true, and we find out these are all baseless accusations, which Poppy's saying is what the case is. She's saying that Sheets is jealous of her, and this is her own way to kind of garner fame and to kind of take down that guy that she was with. And that could be true. And if that is the case, then it's a shame, because this was something that was really cool and different on the internet, on YouTube, in a time that we don't see much of that. We don't see things like Alan Tutorial anymore. All we're getting is fucking Jake Paul and Logan Paul and vloggers and gamers and fucking Fortnite. God fucking damn Fortnite everywhere. I like that. I like that weird what was that scary thing that was out there? That Hornets or glass marbles or something? I forget the name of it.
The clowns.
It's the one with the Slender Man, dude. You know what I'm talking about? I forget the name of the series. But when that stuff popped up, and then you had Alan Tutorial, where it's just unexplainable, and it can only happen in a certain time on the internet. And Poppy is an example of that, but now the illusion has kind of eroded, and now you're just kind of left with this sad story. So I don't know. I feel like, do you guys know who Shay St. John is? Have you ever heard of Shay St. John?
No.
I highly, highly suggest that after the show, you both just Google Shay St. John, and I will leave you be for the rest of the night, because you were going to dive down the weirdest tunnel ever. Unexplainable tunnel. And it only could happen on the internet in this specific time period. So when you go through it, you're kind of thrown back into, early 2000s internet era. But this dude was way ahead of his time. Unfortunately, the guy passed away through unexplainable. We don't know how he died or how she died. It's a really scary sort of thing that you're going to dive into. But I like that kind of stuff on the internet, and I feel like we haven't had much of that lately. And Poppy was sort of, a start of something that could have been like that. But I think this is going to really hurt her image and hurt her creative outlets, and I don't know, hopefully she can bounce back from it, but for me I feel like the image is kind of eroded. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit because internet culture, we're all like, we dive head first into it, and it's cool when we see kind of creatives take things in a different route. All right, let's get into tech news. Got Google I/O. So thank you to The Verge for putting up these awesome top 10s for the biggest announcements. Android P. What do you think about Android P, dude?
Honestly, I hated it at first.
Me too.
But the longer it's been in beta, it's growing on me. Like now that it's more coming together, it's growing on me.
Are you using it? Do they have it out yet?
I mean, I could,
Pixel,
but no,
right?
I'm not. Yeah. I could, but like I said, when it first came out, I was like, no thanks.
What's holding you back now?
The fact that it's still in beta, and I like having this phone as my daily driver.
Yeah, you don't
phone.
You don't need something that's gonna be weird on you, right?
Yeah, like if I had another phone as good as this phone, yeah, I would put it on this. But I like using this as my daily driver, so I'm just not going to do that yet.
So I kind of want to know, like, what are the main changes in Android P compared to Oreo, I think is the last one.
Oreo. A lot of it's behind the scenes shit. That's actually pretty cool. A lot of it's like they're trying to really implement AI things, is what I'll just call it. It's just AI shit because that's their buzzword this year, or I mean that's Google's buzzword the last couple of years. Is like everything's gone through their deep learning center and is now AI backed.
Mm-hmm. That seems to be a buzzword of just every tech company these days.
Yeah, but like some of it's kind of cool. Like a lot of it's little features that like you wouldn't think about, but seems kind of really neat. Like think like they're adding a little bit of AI backend to like even things like screen brightness. So like when you normally set your screen brightness and stuff, like it'll use the light sensor, but it'll try to learn where you set it over time. So it'll adjust it to how you always want the screen brightness instead of just the light sensor says brightness should be here. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of it's little tiny things like that are just like nice quality of life improvements pretty much.
Yeah.
Like things like they're adding some of that deep learning backend mumbo jumbo to like the battery management. So they say like, oh, hey, you use this app at 6 o'clock when you get out of work every day. Like they can prioritize that and have it like just off every, like when you're not usually going to use it. Say you only use, I don't know, pick an app like iGame. Say you play a game heavily for a week and then you don't touch it for 3 months. It'll just kind of like eliminate it battery wise. Just little things like that where it's trying to learn how you use the phone and actually have the phone work better for you, which I think is kind of cool.
No, that is cool. That's the kind of AI that I'm more interested in because, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit more later, but, I'm kind of the smart assistant stuff. I don't find that useful right now. And that's the kind of stuff that I think is useful. Those little kind of things that you just don't want to deal with.
No, like there's a lot of, and that's what a lot of it is. It's a lot of those cool little quality of life improvements that have like, that's been kind of the dream, so to say, you know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, you're going to pick up a device and it's actually going to learn how you use it. So I think that's what they're going for, which is kind of sick.
Here it says, Google is also iterating how notifications work in Android P to further limit distractions.
Yeah, that was something I was going to get into. They're actually coming out with this dashboard app, which is kind of interesting. It's what it is it tracks everything you do with your phone. So it'll give you, if you want to, it can give you a daily update of like, okay, you picked up your phone 87 times, you opened the lock screen 40 times. This app was open for 25 minutes of the day, like everything like that. Like it gives you a huge breakdown of what you've done with your phone. And then from there, you can actually set limits too, which I think is kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. So like you can literally use that app to set a hard limit and say like, okay, I can only look at Facebook 15 minutes all day. And like just little things like that.
You think people are going to use that? Would you use something like that?
I would definitely consider it. I think they're going about it the right way, which is at first they're just trying to bring awareness. Because I think it would be interesting to like see how many times I pick up my phone, because I think actually seeing those numbers in front of me would be kind of alarming.
Yeah.
To be honest.
If I could show Kate how long she scrolls on Instagram,
right?
And, like limit her, she would probably be like, holy shit, I spent all fucking day on Instagram.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm spending, like 12 hours of my week on Instagram.
Yeah. I don't know if she would limit herself though. I don't know if she'd be like, okay, now I want to make sure I only spend 2 hours on it.
Right. It does give you that power to not do that or to do that if you are serious about kind of like not using your phone so fucking much.
I definitely want to be more serious about it because I'm always on my phone, dude.
Same. No, that's why I'm like, I kind of want this to see this because like I'm probably going to be terrified once I get that data back of like, oh shit. All right.
Yeah. And I know like Apple tracks certain time spent on your phone, but it's not like it doesn't tell you how long you've been on your phone and how many times you unlock it. And
no, that's what I think's cool about it is like they're trying to literally try to give you as much data as possible and put it into like kind of like a pie chart with more peeks into what you've been doing and stuff.
Do you think they're going to sell that data?
Maybe.
Because that's definitely some interesting data to track down too.
I mean, they've already had that data for probably 20, how old's Android now? 9, 10 years. Yeah. Probably they've had it for that long. So
now they're finally
been selling it. It's already been selling it. You just actually get to see it now.
Now we can finally see what they're selling. They have to be, right? It only makes sense. It's got to be some user term somewhere.
I don't know about that. Like actual operating system level data like that. I don't think they do. But no, I mean a lot of it's kind of interesting. A lot of it's just little shit like that. They're making it so you can turn do not disturb mode. They're actually making that so hey, if you turn that on, like your phone's basically off.
Yeah.
Like you won't even get notifications. You won't get anything. You can literally just check time. So like say if you go to dinner, you can actually finally turn everything off and just eat dinner with whoever you're eating dinner with, stuff like that. So I mean it's been very interesting what they're doing with Android P of both like kind of cool features and then also features that seem at their heart, like they seem like good-natured things, which I'm kind of impressed by, where it's just like, hey, stop using our product, which is kind of counterintuitive.
Mm-hmm. And I see they're adding like kind of like iPhone 10 gestures to it. So it's like you're swiping instead of Android where it's usually like these cards that go up and down.
They're changing left and right. Yeah, I have a love-hate with how everyone's saying like, oh, it's like iPhone 10. It's not. It's like Android like 4, because that's how Android used to be. It used to side swipe. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know. It's the usual Android thing of like, hey, we did this thing for 2 years, so we got to completely change it because of course we do. Thanks, Google.
Well, I think they're doing that mainly because the home buttons are going to be gone on most phones. So it's just more intuitive to just swipe that little bottom nipple thing.
Yeah, but that's kind of been there for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just making it a little bit different. I don't know. I'm still not
different because
I'm not sold on the gestures just because it's like they're on it. Honestly, they're all the same to me at this point. Like that's been my biggest thing where it's like I actually like the iPhone. I like the iPhone X quite a bit because when I picked it up, it was like I know how to use this instantly.
Yeah.
It's Android gestures and vice versa. You know what I mean? They're all the fucking same at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty intuitive of like, oh yeah, go up or hit the button to go home. Swipe left to go left. You know, like.
Dude, it took me a while to get used to pressing that back button on the phone on my Galaxy. Because
oh really?
Yeah, because Apple only has the one button, so you would swipe to go back. But dude, there's so many times where I want to go back
You
and
want to have
swiping,
that back
or I'm pressing the home button, and I keep forgetting. Oh, I have to press the fucking back button that's there. But then you kind of get used to it and you kind of miss it because it is a nice little thing to have like an actual.
No, actually having a back button's really nice at times. I mean, it's another one of those things where it also depends on what app you're using.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Android P will be interesting. Maybe I'll see once it comes out. But I think some of their assistant shit was really creepy in the best ways.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Like what the fuck?
The new assistant voices. There's 6 new voices coming to Google Assistant, including
John Legend. Which I think is hilarious. Yeah, dude. I want John Legend to just talk to me all the time.
I wonder how long he had to sit in that booth.
Well, I mean, dude, a lot of their new voices and what Google's been doing with like automated speakers is kind of fucking insane. Like going and looking at like their Tacotron thing that they released a couple of months ago, like it's scary how good some of their like AI speaking is.
Yeah.
Like the phone call thing they did, like I totally believed it based off of the last voice thing they did a couple of months ago where it was just like, yeah, it sounds like it's a dumb person talking, but I would have literally never guessed it was a robot.
Or yeah, like let me play it really quick so people can kind of hear it.
Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Mm-hmm. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa.
So that is perfect. Pretty insane. It's pretty insane.
Like it's like I said, it's like a dumb person's talking.
I don't know, dude. I think
it's a person.
I think it sounds pretty smart. You know what I mean?
Like I mean, like they're like they have little inflections and nuances and shit where you're just like, this is a robot. Like this shit, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
and like having that on a back end's kind of awesome.
It's pretty.
So
crazy.
Like. I mean, that would be cool if like you could do like their example of like, hey, dude, I need a haircut. And it just calls a place for you. And like the person has no idea it's your fucking Google robot.
Yeah.
Calling to set you up an appointment.
And you know that like telemarketers are going to you're going to hear this voice all the time. Once telemarketers get a hold of it,
No, because they are doing something right so far, and I don't think they've put this out open source yet.
Oh, really?
And I hope they don't for this.
They can't.
Any of their assistant shit, no, please don't. Please keep that under wraps.
Yeah.
And that's what they're mostly doing with that.
Because that'll get abused immediately. You know, maybe fucking phone calls you're going to be getting by some robot.
I mean, it's that, and then it's also a security concern.
And then you can't even tell because the voice is so good.
Yeah. No, like dude, I was watching that and just like, are you fucking serious? Like,
Yeah.
dude, I know like we've all made jokes about like robots are taking over in the future, but like, damn, dude, that was scarily good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Now,
and like especially because like that wasn't prompted, that was just the AI. Like it was actually answering questions and shit like that too, and still having it sound like a fucking normal person.
Yeah. And I don't even know how that technology could possibly even get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like what are the limits there? Is it because I'm sure that if it doesn't understand something, it's like, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that? And then it gets that wording back in, and then it continues that conversation. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. Like, dude, seriously, that voice assistant shit's just kind of like, all right, man. All right, Google, you got me pumped. You got me hook, line, and sinker. What are you going to do with this? How far are you going to take this? Like, that's always been the Google problem. Make a cool thing, and then, you know, we'll abandon it in 3 years.
You mean like Google Glass?
RSS feeder, rest in peace. Allo, that lasted 6 months. No, also somewhat related to that, Chromebooks are going to be able to run full Linux apps. I'm stoked on that. I want a Chromebook again. I miss my Chromebook now.
There you go. Maybe you get
'Cause
a
I mean-
Pixel book?
No, I mean, like, dude, for $150 web dev machine, like, if you can run Linux apps, so you could just run like a Node.js server or whatever, something like that, like, dude, you're set. Like, then now you don't need anything more than a fucking $150 Chromebook, and that's kind of really dope.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because if you actually can get it all running through the VMs, because I know they've been working on that for a long time, like, that makes that into a really nifty little machine, basically. I mean, at least on the dev side.
They're also... Go ahead.
Well, that was like the thing that always sucked about actually using them, is it's a Chrome browser. But if you can actually run like Linux apps, you don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other things that are better, obviously, that you would like to have more, but I mean, they finally hit like the necessities of what you need. And that's, I don't know, that's interesting to me.
Now you can, they're also basically just pumping their assistant everything. They're going to have these like little, like, looks like Alexa Nows, I think they're called. They're kind of releasing their own version of that. They're putting assistant into Gmail, and now you can have it.
What are the Alexa Nows
for you? I forget. It's not the Now. It's
Shut up.
It's like the Alexa screen thing. What the fuck is that?
Oh, the show.
No,
they had some of those at CES, and they actually look pretty cool. Yeah, those are actually going to be coming out.
The Google ones, you're saying?
Yeah. No, they're showing off a couple through like Lenovo and stuff, and they look really nice.
Yeah,
like they look way better than the Amazon one.
Yeah.
And most importantly, they'll actually run YouTube.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
That's a really big thing.
That's super big.
Because, like, I mean, I don't know. I saw some of those, and like, depending on the pricing, like, if it's a 9-inch 1080p screen that can run YouTube, that is the sweetest thing that I've always wanted for my kitchen.
I was just thinking that. Put it in the kitchen.
Yep. Like,
hey Google,
if you have
how
a little,
make a chicken marsala. And
exactly. Like that's what I see that is that is the world's ultimate kitchen device if you can figure out some of the back end stuff. So it's not like
I know, like with the
always
home,
bothering you.
you know, you basically say, "Hey Google, anything," and then YouTube at the end, and it'll play a video. It'll play the audio of a video through the home device, exactly what you want. I've never had it mess up once when I asked, like, "Hey, play a song on YouTube," because I don't have Spotify. I only have Apple Music now, so I just tell it to play through YouTube, and every fucking time it plays a song. So I know the integration is there, so that's pretty cool. I'm gonna definitely get one for the kitchen.
Yeah, no, like I'm considered definitely trying one out because like that just it really depends on the price. But like if it's actually a good screen and like I know the Lenovo ones looked good. Like that was the other thing too, is they actually like I mean they don't look amazing by any means. They still look a lot better than the show.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a black box, at least it's fake bamboo and like some nice silver etching and stuff like that. It looks like something you'd actually have in your kitchen instead of a black plastic box with a screen on it.
Looks like Google Maps is getting more social and going after Yelp, which is awesome. I fucking hate Yelp. I always go by Google's reviews. So that's good. The Google Maps is looking dope. That might be one of my most used Google apps, Google Maps. I use it so much living in a city. They're
also adding AR directions.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're adding that too. Like I think it's going to be limited especially at first, but the idea is they're using all their Street View stuff and we'll just be able to put like an arrow saying, "Hey, turn here," like if you're walking and stuff, and that's kind of sick.
Yeah, that's actually awesome, especially in a city like Philly where there's a lot of weird little side streets.
Yeah, or like you just like any travel, dude. That's yes, please. We're gonna actually show you, exactly where you are. That could be really sick.
Oh, this is cool. Google Photos getting smarter with editing powers. It looks like it can color black and white photos.
Yeah,
that's fucking insane. If you can do it automatically.
Dude, Google Photos is also still pretty good. Like for the photo apps, it's actually pretty solid.
It's great.
That and I know they're bringing the lens thing out of photos and into the camera by default too, which is kind of cool.
They need to do more of that.
Yeah, and like that's the thing where it's like cool. You can just take your camera up and like click on something and it'll tell you what it is. Or like if it's like, oh, cool, here's a dress I really like, you can literally just click on it and it'll find the dress and tell you how much it costs. Yeah. Like just little weird shit like that.
No, that's big. I wouldn't even say that's little. That's big tech. That'll be super popular.
I mean, they're doing a lot of cool shit, and that's what will always scare me about Google.
They do so much. All the
exactly, time. Dude. They're like, all right, we're gonna try to do this, and this. Dude, and this. It's like this is awesome. This is so cool. Please do this. It's not gonna happen.
What is the Google website that shows you like all of the apps that they have? Is it Google Labs? I forget what it's called.
Maybe. I don't know.
But there's like a website that Google has where it's like, here are all our apps that we offer, and there's hundreds, dude. There's so many. I forget the name of it. I wish I remembered. Code Labs? No, that's not it.
There's also little things where they're actually adding. There's smart compose stuff still kind of really interesting too, which is you're sending an email back. If it'll learn your nuances of what you like to type, and will basically just write the email for you. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. But I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're just saying okay or something simple. You still want to kind of get into your emails, especially if you're in business.
Oh yeah, but for their examples and stuff like that, like, sure, dude. If it learns, if it's like, their keyboard and stuff where it just learns what words you use a lot, like I usually end up writing a lot of the same words for most emails, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it just auto completes parts of emails, sure.
Oh, that was pretty much it for Google I/O.
No, there's one last thing, and this one's big for me. They're revamping Google News.
Oh yeah, I just skipped over that.
They're revamping Google News, and I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm really, really interested in how this Google News revamp will be, especially if it curates by AI or whatever. Because seriously, you know how everyone's always like, oh yeah, iMessage is what keeps me on an iPhone. This stupid fucking Google Now card on the Pixel. I can't live without this.
Really?
Yes. Like just being able to go to the right and having a news feed that's literally all of the topics I give a shit about. Like that's this is my time killer. It's not Instagram. It's not Twitter.
The same on Apple
Twitter
News.
feed.
I do the same with Apple News.
Exactly. It's that, and it's like it's got so much data on me at this point that it's like perfect for me. So if they could implement that into Google News, I'd be the happiest little boy in the world.
Now you can also subscribe to places through Google News, right?
Yeah, because Google
awesome.
News was kind of what they tried to replace their RSS feed with. It was kind of like their Flipboard competitor.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever used Google News, but I use like the Google Now thing, and I'll have my news on there. But now I don't really use that anymore now that I'm on Apple. But it was nice. And I have to be able to subscribe to like Washington Post and New York Times and have it on that feed. I know that Apple does it, so if Google News does it, then that's dope.
Well, I mean, that was also like the coolest thing that I love about this. I don't even have to subscribe, but it's just like, okay, since it's Google and we've had so much data on you, it's like, all right, I have, let's see. The first thing is about Chrome OS, Detroit Lions, Honda Civic, 1180 rumors, NFL shit, Apple shit, game shit, Bitcoin shit, football, Google, SSDs, because I just get news about SSDs sent to me. Case reviews, more Microsoft Build stuff, politics through Washington. Like I get all of the biggest stories from Washington Post and New York Times. God of War, GTA, Legion, John McCain, and cooking.
I don't think we have to know anymore of your newsfeed.
But I mean, dude, it's just one of those things where it's like, I do like the fact that it's not subscribed because it gives me a lot more shit I would not have looked up.
Well, I'm saying
I start reading through and I'm like, this is sick. Now I do want to be subscribed to this.
Right. I'm saying like a paid subscription. Like I know like New York Times, you can only read like a certain amount a month.
Right.
So
no,
being
Google
able to
News,
get the whole thing there on that platform.
Google News does that as well. They started that publisher incentive deal thing whenever ago.
It sucks having to have like New York Times and Washington Post apps. You know what I mean? And being able to have it in the Apple News is nice.
Yeah.
And with Google News, it's
no. I know. Yeah, I know you can do it with Google News like that because they also worked it out so you can pay it through Google.
Yeah, which is cool because you don't have to worry about it because it just goes to your G account, whatever the fuck it's called. All right.
Account that costs too much. I don't want to talk about.
We got Microsoft Build 2018. Some cool stuff here. Let's first talk about the Windows Your Phone app, which is pretty cool. About fucking time, if you ask me. Well,
we'll see. I'm excited about it, but I'm also very reserved about it because some of Microsoft's little apps they've been making have been pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like actually, I use their to-do list a lot.
Yeah, the sidebar thing.
I really like their to-do list to the point that I literally have it installed on like 3 Linux distros right now. But
they just need to make it where you can text on your PC.
Right, and that's what it's going to do. But how it's going to do it, that's where I have questions about it. Because apparently it's going to try to mirror your phone, whether it's Android or iPhone. And I think that's really cool, but it's going to be kind of interesting how they're going to go about doing that to me.
I mean, from what we can see, it looks like only certain features are going to be able to be mirrored. But if text is one of them, and you can drop files from your phone to your PC easily, like AirDrop, then that's your gold there. Finally,
I know
they need.
I know the gold. I know what they're trying to do the most is calls and texts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so big.
I also think it'll be funny if this actually how this mirrors with iPhone, because it only works with SMS. It won't work with iMessage. So I think that'll be kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even think they give us two shits.
Oh no, like it'll just be you'll still be sending an iMessage. You'll just get everyone will get it as a green bubble, and I think that'll just be kind of funny. It's like, oh Wayne, I know you're using your computer because you sent me a green bubble.
They need this. I was paying I think it was like $10.99 for an app that did this, and it was janky as fuck. So if they can get this in that next update, hopefully by fall, which is what they're saying it should come out, the new Redstone update.
Beta's supposed to be in like this week or next week. I'll get in on that and find out.
Yeah, because that's big for me. I do so much shit. I drop so much shit from my phone to my PC and my laptop all the time, and it's always annoying with my iPhone to the PC or any phone to the PC. But now hopefully it gets remedied. With the iCloud stuff, it's sort of, or like the G Drive and cloud services is a little bit easier, but still the texting is not there. They need to get that going. Cortana and Alexa will work together, and we kind of were talking about this a little bit. Not really much else to say. I think it's kind of stupid. I don't know who in their right mind is going to say to tell Alexa to open up another assistant to do something.
No, it's gonna go the other way every time. It's gonna be Cortana tell a word to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, sure, dude. I'm okay with that. Like if I have something set up in another room, I can just tell my computer to do it and get it ready for me. Sure.
Yeah, but I just wish it was just like one person. Yeah. One thing. Like Google. Just have Google do it. That's the one I use the most is Google's Assistant. I don't even use Siri. And just Google.
Theirs is the best if you actually have questions.
Yeah, but it also has implementations into apps. Like it actually has like implementation into your calendar and your shopping list and stuff that is on your phone because you already have Google shit on your phone. So it's just I'm not using Windows Mail on any fucking phone or iPad. So I don't think that it makes much sense. But hey, if it helps them out to do something, I don't know why they're making a big point about it. It is what kind of confused me. But I guess they think Cortana's a lot better than a lot of things.
Well, I mean. Yeah, kind of is. At least on computer, it is.
Cortana?
Yeah, no, I actually like it quite a bit.
I don't ever use it.
I couldn't live my life anymore in Windows 10 if I didn't have that stupid search bar.
Yeah, but are you telling it to do that, or are you typing it in?
I mean, both.
You're typing
mostly
it in.
Typing it, yeah, but that's still Cortana.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing. Like it's
get it,
just like you type to your Google Assistant. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I don't. I use Google Assistant voice all the time.
Well, I used to because I actually used Allo.
Yeah.
And I was one of like the 10 people who did apparently.
I was just trying to justify my Google Home purchase, and I try to do things on it as much as I can. But like weather is like super big for me. Like as soon as I wake up, what's the weather? What's the sports scores? What I got on my calendar? Do I have any phone calls? Like that kind of stuff is okay for smart assistants, and it's working pretty well with Google's Assistant. But I kind of want to go like a lot deeper than that. You know what I mean? I want it to be like
buy some light bulbs and get over it.
Yeah, I want it to be like, hey, we know you're going on this trip on Saturday, or we know you're going on this trip in like an hour. You're going to need to fill up your tank. Like telling me to do shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to constantly have to bring it up or call for it because it's hard for me to remember a lot of shit. So
yeah,
I think that's where I want more of the smart assistant stuff to go, to like prompt you to do things.
I think that's why I'm more interested in the Google stuff too, just because like that seems to be more what they are trying to head towards.
Yeah. which is I think the only way to really go with the smart assistant stuff. I mean, if you ask someone like Kate how many times she uses Google Home, her answer will be fucking 0.
Dude, just replace your light bulbs with smart links or smart bulbs, and it'll be every fucking day.
Pink
Dude,
ones?
no, dude, I wish I was joking. If you haven't done that yet, you're missing out.
I have not done that.
Just do it, dude.
The Philips Hue.
It costs like
Is that
you
what
can
you're
use
talking about?
those or the TP Link. Like, there's a bunch of them now. TP Link ones.
I
have
wanted
some,
to, but I got a lot of lights in my house. It'd be pretty expensive.
I mean, just do it with one at first. Yeah. And I mean, mostly they're most expensive because they have their own fucking hub.
Oh.
But if you use the TP Link ones don't have a hub. And they're like fucking $18 a bulb.
All right, next, the timeline for iOS and Android. Microsoft just introduced Timeline with its latest update to Windows. Now the tool is able to get even more useful. I haven't used it yet. Have you? I didn't even know about this until I read this today.
No, because I don't think I even have Redstone 5 yet.
Yeah, well, I think this is the 4th one. I think Redstone 5 is the next one. I could be wrong. But supposedly it keeps track of all the apps you're using and what you're doing in them. You can open up the timeline to view your history and jump right back to where you were. What's powerful about the timeline is that it can sync across Windows 10 devices, and now Microsoft is bringing the timeline to iOS and Android too, so if you use the same apps on your phone and desktop, you'll be able to pick something up on mobile that you started on desktop. On Android, timeline will be included as part of the Microsoft launcher. On iOS, it'll be within the Edge browser. So, I don't know, if this, I don't know. It's difficult with iOS and PC, you know what I mean? Am I doing enough stuff on PC where I need to do it on my iPhone?
No.
Enough to get the Edge browser? I don't know. I don't know.
No. I mean, it's cool if that's the world you live in, but I don't know, dude. I'm also in that, like, I hate all of these kinds of apps regardless of what ecosystem they're in, because they're just like,
it's all different shit, man.
I don't care.
Just use the best one and do that one. Build your shit into the best one.
Well, I mean, there's that, but I still don't even care enough to use it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I think that's why I'm interested in the Android P shit. It's like, no, I don't want to be using my phone as much. I don't want to AirDrop from my phone to my computer and keep working, so then I can reverse it back to my phone and keep working while I'm going to home. Like, no, I don't want to keep working.
You're trying to go minimalist. You're trying to go minimal.
I'm done, dude. Let me clock out, please.
Microsoft offers devs more money than Apple or Google, which is not a very big shock to me.
Oh, no, it's a shock because they're starting to do this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, before they were about this, they were closer to the same. Like, they did always give a little bit more, but
yeah, I'm
not to what they're changing it to, which apparently if you make an app and put it in their shitty app store, they only take 5%.
That's not bad.
Instead of 30. Because the standard's always been 30.
Yeah, it's not bad. Way more powerful tabs. I don't care. Not using Edge. Connect is alive and in the cloud. Don't care. Don't use Connect. And there's a lot more to come. And then you see The Verge sat down with Satya Nadella. And it's an interesting piece. You should definitely go watch it with Dieter. He sits down with him, and basically you see the future of Microsoft is exactly what you don't want it to be, but it's exactly what they need it to be. Because Microsoft, they're doing big things. It's just not cool big things. They're more focused on cloud computing. And that's basically it. And AI, but like enterprise AI and, industrial AI as opposed to kind of smart assistant AI type stuff, which is cool, man, because that's really where Microsoft's bread and butter is. It's enterprise. It's enterprise.
I mean, that's most people's bread and butter is enterprise.
Yeah. And you need that shit. You need someone doing it. All right.
I mean, I also gotta give props to Dieter. props to Dieter for going to Microsoft Build and then probably getting like 2 hours of sleep before making it to Google I/O to do the exact same shit and actually making really good content at both times and having like really good interviews at both days without probably sleeping. So props to Dieter Bone.
Yeah, they do a really good job on the bridge. I would say the best. I would say they do the best out of all tech. Anyone at Vox, really. Vox Media does really, really good job. I would like it if they weren't so liberal about a lot of their ideals. But what are you going to do? Preliminary specs for NVIDIA's rumored GTX 1180 may have been leaked. Some skepticism may be warranted. I heard that these you should take these with a grain of salt from numerous people. But nonetheless, we have some 1180 supposed leaks. Turing is the architecture, 12 nanometer FinFET, GT104 GPU, 400 millimeter square die size, 3,584 CUDA cores, 224 TMUs, 64 ROPs, core clock 1600, boost clock 1800, 13 teraflops, 256-bit, 8 to 16 gigabyte GDDR6, the new standard by Samsung. 16 gigabytes per second memory speed, 512 gigabits per second bandwidth, TDP up to 200 watts. Looking at the same price that the 1080 launched at, $700. It seems pretty interesting. I mean, it seems like a substantial jump, but I wouldn't say it's enough to really. I would say the 1080 kind of coming out was a lot more. It was kind of like going from 1080p to 4K, where this is more like going from 4K to 6K.
Actually being able to play 4K.
Yeah. At 144, someone was saying like you should expect 4K 144 with these new 1180s. I'm definitely going to get one. That's for sure. But I might have for the TI.
I don't know. It's one of those. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for actual reviews to come out because there should be. If it is dropping in size, it should have a lot better performance.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, who the fuck knows?
And still, like, I mean, we still haven't reached the absolute potential of the 1080. You know, we're still really not there yet, other than just pumping resolution. But I don't think that is enough to really warrant it. You know, just because some games can't run 4K 60, that might just be optimization issues. You know, seeing Battlefield 1 is a perfect example. That's one of the best looking games ever. You can run it 4K, 90 frames per second on a 1080 Ti. So we're really, you know, we still got a little bit of headway left in the 1080, but they always got to come out with that. They always got to do that little extra. Keep pushing it, I guess. And then we have.
I'd hope, you know, I want things to get better, not just stay the same. But, you know,
I think more of the criticism is like make it way more better, you know.
Yeah, and I mean that's why I'm waiting to see what actually happens because all of the big changes have come off of architecture changes, like when the die shrinks. So if the die shrunk again, like it might be a lot better. Yeah,
we shall see, because we've been waiting for this Turing card for some time now. All right, and then AMD has a Radeon Instinct graphics card with 7 nanometer Vega running in its lab. It will sample to customers this year. I like the name Instinct. I do like that. You're not a fan of the Instinct?
Nah. I mean, honestly, I pretty much hate all the gaming catch buzzword names, to be honest. But yeah. But I mean, it will be interesting to see 7 versus 12 because it's also, I mean, it's the same thing kind of like CUDA cores where like they are just kind of made up and none of these companies actually use a standard to say what a nanometer is. Just like NVIDIA's like, this is a processor, but it's not really.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, like a lot of like I mean, that's something Samsung's gotten into trouble before
Oh,
when they're
really?
making like their however you pronounce it, chips, because they're like, oh yeah, we're like 7 nanometers now, and like if it was like set to a standard, it was still like fucking 10 or 12 or something. But like
Ah,
off of their standards of nanometers, it was
right,
different.
right, you're right.
Nanometer itself isn't like technically a standard.
Interesting. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's pretty funny. So that makes sense. That makes sense.
But the idea of 7 is supposed to be a lot fucking smaller.
Yeah.
So it should be smaller. So, I mean, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Because, like,
and you're saying
I really
this one's
want AMD to, like, I don't know, dude. If this is actually somewhat like 7, like, it could be a huge leap in performance. So, like, I want AMD to be competitive. I want there to be more than one good company on all sides.
They need to start swinging, dude. Because we've been let down by AMD with Vega.
Yeah.
But hopefully
But then
this
their
can't-
Ryzen shit kicked ass. So
Yeah. They need
hopefully
to,
they bring some of those guys on board or something.
they
Like,
need to start swinging. They need to start swinging. But this does look pretty interesting. I'm not going to read all the specs. But this is kind of like that, like you were saying, like the 5 series cards. This is going to be their new iteration of that.
yeah, that's like the rumor, and like it could be really cool if they had like, I mean, a 580 that was, or a 5 series, you know, like their budget series, if that got to competitive levels. And by that I mean like, I mean, dude, I'd be stoked if they had a $200 card that was as good as a 1070.
Yeah.
Their cards that are supposed to be 200 are as good as a 1060.
That'd be fucking phenomenal.
If it's all like that kind of jump, that would be pretty sick.
That'd be phenomenal. It would be almost hard to ignore. Because the 1070 is a great card. That performance is nice. The perfect sweet spot right now and in this period of time.
Well, I mean, that's why the 580s and 480s were always really liked. Because I mean, it's a 1060. Like those two cards are neck and neck. Like whenever anyone asks me which one I should buy, it's kind of a wash because it's one of those like, well, in this game, this card does 2 frames better. In this game, this card does 5 frames better. Like
Right.
it's a fucking wash. So just buy whatever one you can get cheapest. But if they made that better, that could be kind of cool.
Next, I think we're going to do this one and then one more story. Petition calls on Apple to recall and replace failing Butterfly MacBook Pro keyboards. And you were talking about this before, that there seemed to be an
Please.
issue with these keyboards.
Yeah, I mean, I hate them. And it's not, I mean, I hate them just because I don't like them, but I've seen a lot of people complain about them.
Yeah, I personally fucking love them. I love the MacBook Pro keyboard. I love the butterfly switches, and I haven't had any issues with them. But I'm hearing that there's problems with the space bar. There's problems with keys. There's problems with because they're just so fucking minute and thin that anything that gets in the way of that scissor switch or that butterfly switch can cause
Like
an
a
issue.
piece of dust
Yeah.
can break it. And that's, I don't know, that to me, that's just a fucking design flaw, but whatever.
I don't know if that's true though. I mean, I'm not easy on my laptop, you know, and I vape all the fucking time in front of it. So I haven't had any issues. I don't know if it's.
I mean,
I don't know if it's a certain model or you know what I mean. I don't know exactly.
I don't think
what's
so
going
because
on.
I've been hearing it about all of them. The first MacBook was the worst, but I've been hearing it about all of them. So it has been getting a little bit better.
Here, the change.org says, Apple, it's time. Recall every MacBook Pro released since late 2016 and replace the keyboards on all of them with new redesigned keyboards that just work because these keyboards don't work. Every one of Apple's current gen MacBook Pro models 13 and 15 is sold with a keyboard that can become defective at any moment due to a design failure. And there's been a lot of people who've had issues with them. There was a whole thing with Casey Neistat. He had issues with his...
There's been a lot of people, and I think that's part of the problem where it's like, even if it is a 10% issue, like that's terrifying. Buying a $2,000 computer that has a 10% chance of needing a $700 replacement because you can't even replace the single key that broke.
Yeah, and that's the biggest
Like, that's a
problem with the
design
keyboard.
flaw. That's absurd.
That's the biggest problem with that keyboard. You have to replace the whole thing. You are not replacing one key, which is dumb. That's very, very dumb. And I don't want to jinx it because I have had zero issues with it. And I do like
And
the butterfly
I feel like
keys.
most people don't have an issue with it, but I do think it's one of those things where it's like, it's obviously affected enough people where, like, seriously, it's a monthly event that I'm like, oh, this tech journalist's MacBook just broke. Oh, this YouTuber's MacBook just broke. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's not like everyone's by any means, but it's one of those, like, I definitely hear about it way more than I've ever heard about any Apple product.
Mm-hmm.
Like, by far, you know what I mean? To the point, because at first I did think it was just kind of like, you know, this one dude hates it, but like now that I've been hearing it like fucking every month, I'm just like,
and like, what
okay,
if it is
something there?
What if, you know, just like, what if my keyboard and every other MacBook Pro it's just not time for us yet, and then, you know, later down the line it does break? Are they gonna fucking replace the fucking entire computer with a new generation MacBook that should be getting released soon? Because I want the new keys. I don't want this old shit. You know, I don't want the ones that are gonna
they'll
break.
replace it with the ones that will break for $700.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I don't know if they're ever gonna fucking recall anything. You know, that's just not in the cards for them.
No,
They
dude,
know
it was
it's an
user-
issue.
It was user error.
They know it's an issue. That's for sure. It's no joke.
Max, I hate you. I have such a love-hate with them because they make such a great OS, and I don't know what they're doing with their hardware anymore.
Yeah. Well, we got WWDC coming. Hopefully we see some new shit. And almost,
I know, fingers crossed, dude.
they
I'm-
wanted
I'm-
15,000 people to sign this petition, and it's almost there. 13,555 people have signed it. So there's a lot of people that have had issues with this fucking keyboard. I'm going to
Dude.
sign it.
Okay, all I'm saying is another year of heartbreak. Another year, like, give me a Mac Mini, please.
He wants
love
that
those-
mini, dude.
I love those things because they don't have keyboards on them that will break from a speck of dust or a screen that will shatter. It's just
No,
a
yeah.
box with a computer that works.
No, the new Apple keyboards that you can buy they all have butterfly switches now, and they're gonna have a touch bar supposedly. So there you go.
Cool. Another thing I won't buy. Give me a Mac. Just give me a computer that works, that runs your great operating system, and let me be happy.
I think we will see something like that. They've been talking about a modular Mac Mini. I think we'll see that at WWDC. If not, you're beat. All right, last story. Bill Gates, Bitcoin is a greater fool investment. He was speaking to CNBC yesterday. He clearly stated that Bitcoin was a greater fool investment. As an asset class, you're not producing anything, and so you shouldn't expect it to go up. It's kind of a pure greater fool theory type of investment. The greater fool theory is that some assets are perpetuated by reselling the asset to a greater fool who accepts the asset at a higher price than what the previous investor bought it. It is a theory which suggests the cycle will keep continuing with hopes of higher buy price. In addition to this, he mentioned that he would short if he could. What seems very funny is that Bitcoin can be shorted using future contracts on one of the world's leading derivative marketplaces, CME. Even Goldman Sachs has plans to enter into the Bitcoin future contracts field. And then he goes on to state he fears it is too risky for long-term commitments, either as a client or institution. Bitcoin and ICOs, I believe, completely. There's some of the crazier speculative things, and he's absolutely right in that sense. And there's nothing here he said is false. This is absolutely more of a greater fool investment type of asset. The problem that he doesn't understand is fiat is not available, especially U.S. currency, is not available to everyone around the world, you know, and this eliminates that issue. This is a global currency. There's no other way around it. So you can be a greater fool type of investment, but that's what fiat is. It's the same idea. That's what pretty much any sort of fiat currency is. So it doesn't make much sense of that.
I mean, it makes sense in a way, just because I'm still waiting for the third. I'm one of those people who usually waits for the third gen of something.
Yeah.
The first two are gonna fail. So give me the third gen of global currency.
Well, if we look at Coin Marketplace, let's find out what the third currency is. Just in the
Oh,
market.
I don't mean like cryptocurrency. I don't even know if it's gonna be crypto, is what I mean. It could be something else. Like I'm waiting also for ideas like that are like, all right, we're now definitely aware of the problems blockchain itself as a technology does have. So what's going to be the next tech after that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think DOOBIE's sleeping. Nice of you to join us there. It's that. You got to get in that keto, dude. You'll have energy all day.
I have nothing to add to the tech section.
We're almost done. So yeah, Bitcoin has been rough roads the past few months, but we're starting to see a little bit more of this speculative jump, mainly because Goldman Sachs is like, hey, you can start to buy futures now, and that's gonna be pretty big. And Ethereum is also interesting. Just there's not much tech going on right now, and that's kind of what everyone's waiting for. We're waiting on. We know that proof of stake has been solved. We want to see it being applied. We want to see who's going to apply it. We want to see how the 51% attack is mitigated. There's a lot of tech things that need to be solved. So we're still very early development. But these prices are nothing to laugh at, even at these early times. So I think, someone like Bill Gates, who's not just like smart, but he's genius, especially when it comes to finance, genius level. And when he says something like this, you got to understand, like, he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. Will he invest in the future? Probably. He probably will. But right now, he's absolutely right. Everything is speculative. It's a greater fool type of investment. This is it. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll catch y'all next week. Make sure you hit us up, No Life Digital, on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. And you hit up our website at www.nolife.digital. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Peace.